Hi Taurus, welcome to your week ahead Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your sun, moon and ascendant sign. So whether you're a sun, moon or rising sign Taurus, this is for you. And I always advise that you watch all three to get a clearer, more complete picture of how they speak to you. That being said, remember they are general readings, so not everything is going to resonate with everybody, and always use your own discernment. Before we start, as always, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So for your key to the week this week, you have the Temperance card. It is all about balance. Remember, with this card, you are striving to find a way to unite your inner world with the outer world. But more importantly than that, because you are in control of your inner world, what you hold in that space is what you're going to get or draw to yourself on the outer level. So this week, check in with your alignment. I was going to say play around with your intention, and actually, yeah, that feels, I was like, do I like that there? Actually, yes, I do like that. Like, if you can move into that state of playful ease and flow with the universe, so many wonderful things can happen for you. This week, dedicate some time to that. For your actions and options this week, you got the Ten of Swords. Well, shit. Okay. I was like, oh, you know, be in a state of play and flow with the universe, you know, and then you got the Ten of Swords. All right, so what do we know, right? What we know is the Ten of Swords is the end of the shit, right? I know, I'm potty mouth today, every day, basically. If you've known me long enough, you know. One of the things that comes up with the Ten of Swords, I always say to people, it's a good thing to get this card because it means that's it. There's no more. The fact that you have this as your actions and options, this is you choosing to end something. This is you choosing not to align with something. This is you getting really real with yourself, whether that's the person in the mirror, whether it is what you have been doing, whether this is when you say yes and you really just want to say no, when you say no and you really want to say yes, for any number of reasons. This is about you owning yourself and your sphere of self and energy like never before. The fact that you have the Ten of Swords, and I have to say, so remember with the Temperance card as well, sometimes this can be where people try to draw you into stuff that really has nothing to do with you. The Ten of Swords in your actions and options is you shutting that down and just saying, you know what, no. Love it. Exercising and utilizing the power of the word no should be like a course in and of itself, like really. For your communications and conversations, you have the Magician card. I love this, right? Play, okay, there's that word again. Pay attention to how you utilize your words and your speech this week. This week you might catch yourself in some sort of, you know, and there's one of my very first mentors in my craft studies always used to say to us, do not say things in jest. And this week you might catch yourself. It's like when you say something and it's just a throwaway comment, but it's not, right? Because it's coming from a place, and that, you know, those words, sound, energy, power are creating that. And, you know, they're coming from, this is a very powerful week for you, Taurus. You really got to get hold of what you're speaking. You really got to get a hold of what you're saying and what you're holding on those internal levels, because those vibrations are creating your reality. This week, I think you're going to have a moment where you will literally manifest something as you speak. And I think that will be enough for you to say, yeah, we're stopping that right now. And I love this, right? On the more positive note of this, you've got the Magician card with the Temperance. This is awareness of how you can create what it is that you want to bring into the world. This is, for some of you, this could be aligning with a powerful person or a client of some sort, especially for those of you that work for yourselves. This could be you coming up with a new idea, a new product, a new service, I absolutely love that. For those of you that work for somebody else, that you're an employee, this week you're shining, and this week you are talking to the boss like you are on their level. You're demonstrating your potential this week in a way that really makes people pay attention to what you're doing and what you're saying. When you have that kind of attention, when you have the spotlight on you like that, shine, baby, shine. Okay. For those of you that are retired or no longer working for any reason, this is the week. If there were ever a week for you to do some sort of spiritual work, this would be the week. If there were ever a week for all Taurians to journal, to go to some sort of talking therapy, this would be it. And, you know, for those of you that are so inclined, if there were ever a week for you to do shadow work, Ten of Swords, actions and options, hello, this is your week, right? If you're into doing shadow work, and, like, you know, when people hear that term, they're like, oh, clutch my pearls. It's not about sitting in the dark and all of it. Really isn't that. It's about facing the aspects of you that are self-sabotaging. That's the long and short of it. If you were ever going to do any shadow work in your life, this would be the week to do so. The power behind it, I wish I could open my mind and show you what I'm seeing. For your money and materials, you've got the Five of Pentacles, right? So we've got the Five of Pentacles in the money and the materials. Here's what I'm going to say to you. Based on these cards, you can fix this quite easily, right? I mean, there's a million things that I want to say right now. Outside of that, Five of Pentacles underneath the Ten of Swords, this could be an unexpected expense. However, I say an unexpected expense. I was going to say, however, the weird thing is it doesn't feel like it's unexpected. This might be something that you've had fixed or mended and forgotten needed to be replaced. And this week it could come up and need to be replaced. If that is the case, just replace it. Don't bother getting a patch. Don't bother, like, as an example, let's say your bike gets a puncture. Don't bother buying a puncture repair kit. Just buy a new tyre. If you can't afford a new tyre, get a new insole. Inner tube. Do you see what I mean? Do what you can to get a new one. Don't do this whole, we'll just put a patch on it until later. Don't do that. When it comes to your physical health and vitality, this is going to be your neck, your throat, all of the areas that are actually ruled by Taurus. This week, especially, not saying how you feel is going to hit you right here, right? I would caution against that. If you're mad, say so. If you're happy, say so. If you want to sing like a canary. I mean, if you're anything like me, it's more like a drowned cat in the shower. Jokes aside, this week, expressing yourself through your voice, Mercury ruled the Magician card, expressing yourself honestly, openly, and even making yourself a little bit vulnerable to say what it is that you really feel, what you're really holding on the internal level, that is going to be cathartic. It's going to be healing. If you hold it back, the likelihood is it will do some, maybe not lasting damage, but certainly in the here and now it could lead to, especially with the Ten of Swords, it could be a lost voice. Like, literally, this is not the week to hold back on what you feel. You've got to speak it. When it comes to your home and environment, the Five of Pentacles, the home could be costing you more money than maybe you care for at this moment in time. But again, whatever it is that you're doing, do it right the first time round and you don't have to do it again. For your love and relations, you've got the Five of Swords, right? So you've got two fives here. Two fives represent a vigil. Interestingly enough as well, you've got the Temperance card here, which is 1 and 4 gives you 5. Right, so first of all, you've got the two actual fives. Two fives represents a vigil. What is a vigil? This is the energy of thought. It's how you, I'm just trying to think of a good example. It would be something that you focus on intently, right? And this week, what you focus on intently, you're going to get a whole lot more of. So it's really important that you do this 10 of Swords work to say, actually, no, you know what, I'm not going into that space anymore. That's 2 5s. You add to this Temperance card as the third 5. 3 5s represents the energy of determination. This week, you really do have the power to create the world, the life, the experience of your dreams, or you can create its opposite. It really is, this week, up to you, Taurus. Now, for your 5 of Swords, for those of you that are in partnerships or relationships, your words are very powerful this week. And, you know, whatever, you know, side of the coin you're on in your relationship, you could come across, and you might not even mean to, but this week, because your words are so powerful and your persona is so powerful, this week you could come across as quite sort of domineering or overbearing, not because you want to, but just because you are so powerful. This week, the words "a little goes a long way" really need to be your mantra. If you're in a relationship, if you're married, or if you're in a partnership, it's going to be coming from you, right? So you've got to check yourself. You've got to check the way that you speak to your partner, the way that you speak to your loved ones. You really need to find a way to rein it in this week. When it comes to those of you that are single, I mean, if I'm honest, it looks like you could be attracted to somebody that's in a position of power. It could be a boss, a supervisor. It could be, you know, a client of some sort. There's something a little bit taboo about this. So I would just say, like, and this is specifically for the single people. If there's someone that you fancy, this week it's probably likely that there's something about them that means you shouldn't fancy them. You know, not anything ominous or dark, but it's kind of like, maybe it could be that they're already married, or do you know what I mean? Like, it could be anything, but just be aware that there's a little bit of forbidden fruit going on. All right, with that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how this one shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.